Welcome, welcome. Welcome to RC Aviation. And this part is part of the Team JRCA Truck and Trusses. Of course, today we're not trucking anything. We're just cleaning our trucks off today because we can't get into where we need to get to. Got some snow yesterday. And 182, 662, rescan.
Breaker 19 for a ready go check.
Alright.
Hey, I appreciate it. You guys have a good day.
Alright. We're going to be sitting here, so I figured I'd come online for a little bit. Get some watch time in, get my truck. It'll be a while for my truck gets warm. Wow, Bill, what's going on? Brad, what's going on? Thought I'd come in for a little while, come to work, clean my truck off. Yeah, Brad, how you doing? Got a little bit of snow here in Hagerstown yesterday. And during the day I do a lot of custom homes and hauling the roof trusses for them. So today we're pretty much not going anywhere because we can't one, the emergency plan is still affected now. Two, we can't get into these job sites that are up in the mountains, woods. So I thought I'd come in and get my truck cleaned off and get the air built up and all my hydraulics. So tomorrow, because it's supposed to be real cold the rest of the week, so get that done. That way tomorrow if I come in, I don't have a damn line busted or airline or something froze. So that's what we're doing today. And then we're gonna go home and watch our new leader get sworn in. Normally when I'm driving, I can't see I can see the chat, but I can't read the chat. Oh yeah, Richmond, yeah. Yeah, still get cold, buddy. We hadn't experienced this kind of cold weather in 3 years. Now we're paying the price. Oh yeah, I'll let it know, Wild Bill. Yeah, I don't know why we're not coming on when we're normally in the evening time. We usually on flow racing, watching some kind of dirt race somewhere, or he's doing iRacing on his computer. So he's always doing something. 9:30. Okay, we'll try to get there. I bought my Mini 2 with me today, so I'm going to try to get some footage, different locations today when I leave here. So That's what we're going to do. But we're not going anywhere today. So I figured I'd come on and stop and got me a little bit of Dunkin' Donut, you know, and some coffee. South Florida. I don't know, Brad. I got a brother that lives down in Sebastian. Maybe I'll go see him. Make a trip out of it. I don't know. I'm not a good planner. I just decide if I'm going to do something, I'll do it. I'll plan it that day and go. Well, I appreciate it. I look forward to see you guys anyway. Okay. Only one I met in person so far was Rodney Bell. Rodney came up to our flying field when we had an event a couple years ago. Had a great time. Absolutely. Absolutely good people.
He would call in after the game. Should have an update later today. The Eagles,
Carlos, morning.
Sunday at 3 o'clock. That game in Philly for the NFC.
All right, Wild Bill.
The Commanders beat the Lions Saturday night.
Takes a while for these damn trucks to warm up, boy. Holy shit, this truck.
Maryland win 69-66.
I should just went over and sit in my car. But it is what it is.
This update from your LYT Solutions team, so Lincoln, an independent opinion on your computer.
I'm probably going to start showing more stuff than what I show when I'm on the job site.
Visit SoLincoln.com. That's SoLincoln.com.
I might keep me a GoPro. Well, I got a GoPro. But I might have to just do that as a video. And do the live stuff. Do the video portion of it. All right there, buddy.
Visit meritushealth.com/.
Damn. Yep, gotta pay them damn bills. Well, they're probably gonna get lower now since that robot's gone. Hey, Mike, what's up? Yeah, the robot, he's gone. Bye-bye. We're gonna bring the new leader in now. So we ain't bullshitting this time. We are not bullshitting this time around.
This is meteorologist Jeff Nordine with your AccuWeather forecast from the premier HVAC Services Weather Center. Very cold and windy today. Clouds and sunshine. High temperature 21 degrees.
You damn right.
And still frigid overnight down to 1 above. AccuWeather real feels as a result of single digits well below zero and even in some spots into the double digits below zero. For local news and AccuWeather on the go, visit your app store.
Hey, what do you call those little DJI cameras that you hold? I'm looking for one of them. What they call Osmos or some bullshit? I can't keep track of DJI. Plus, I'm cheap. I'm like a wholesale guy. I like to pay wholesale. They say, what? Wholesale? You're damn right, wholesale. I don't like paying full price for nothing. trying to teach my son that, but he don't understand.
840, it's 20.
If the price says $500, he must pay $600. How the hell that worked out? How that work out for you?
First news. And we'll skip our visit. Folks from F&M Trust today. Markets closed up here. Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I can find something. Somebody got one. Well, that damn sure ain't going in the Best Buy and get one.
Today is also the 30th anniversary of the annual Day of Service. So if there's a group that you've been wanting to lend a hand to, a non-profit, a wonderful day in which to...
Painting's a good business if you know what you're doing. Good money, too.
Make a donation.
Oh, you got the, what, they have the Osmos 6 now?
Service stories that we're watching here for you.
I didn't even get the Osmos 1. What the fuck?
And we, as a matter of fact, they're working on, I think the two are not related, but traffic advisory.
So I can actually see the check because I'm not going anywhere.
Calling it in for us again on Route 11 by Loop and Guilford Spring Road.
I got to get up on time, don't I?
Semi, and they're waiting on a heavy wrecker over there, so that's you're traveling Route 11.
This ain't snow compared to out there in North Dakota, though. But it's just enough to mess shit up.
Cold weather, so we're watching very carefully.
Because it started out with freezing rain, so you got the ice underneath this shit.
Phones as well, and your critters.
Most of these guys drive on the interstates. I'm not on the interstates that much.
7 o'clock.
I'm up on them back roads, and I don't want that trailer to be in front of me when I'm driving.
Your cold weather advisory is underway. It goes until noon.
All right, Brad. Have a blessed day, too.
Maryland and West Virginia.
What? Beautiful. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
Cold weather advisory from the National Weather Service.
Right.
Hours away from the inauguration, our coverage on News Talk 103.7
Absolutely.
and the radio station level. And also
It's a great day indeed.
While you're working, take News Talk 103.7 FM wherever your travels take you. The app is very robust. And download, register if you want to register for the push notifications.
I'm sitting at 21, feels like 7.
Regularly, and also push polls up there. Latest one here, latest push poll. News Talk 103.7 FM on the app is Senator McCormick. Actually set up a shop in Chambersburg.
Right.
Here, more preemptive pardons are being talked about now here. It's just written, I kind of do have that Rand Paul was tweeting out here. This Fauci.
You see where that jackass?
The pardon for Fauci.
10-man Biden.
Tweeting or Xing.
I know I'm talking about politics. It ain't really politics. It's criminal.
Not an opportunity
That
to get
he
some
done pardon
answers.
that
Tim Scott here.
Cheney.
Senator.
He's
from
pardoned all
South
the
Carolina on these pardons.
At the end of the day, we should expect nothing less than the continuation of the
Congress people that are involved in that shit.
What he's doing right now,
And that General Milley
as Americans find
and
disgusting.
pardon them.
Yeah, with this
And that damn Fauci.
Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. Milley has some conversations with
Unbelievable.
China.
You know they're all
Mark Milley.
criminals anyway.
About that one, you never will. Former
Why would you
chief
get a pardon
advisor to the
if you didn't do nothing?
I'll stay corrected on the Milley range. I believe that's where Milley was talking back and forth with the leadership there, saying, "Don't worry." China, or was it millions?
Good Lord to get their ass. That's for sure.
And I'm certain they'll have a little bit more conversation.
Good Lord to get
Billy
them.
and the chats he was having behind the president's back, Trump at the time. And here you go with Fauci, as well as members of the staff of the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack and the final hours of the presidency of Joe Biden. If you want to know what Fauci, what Fauci, think of Tom Wolfe, think of Fauci.
Exactly, Wild Bill.
Hours and days and months, years, and now no accountability here. The president says the pardon should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that any individual engaged in any wrongdoing. Well, what else then? And Fauci, why don't you turn down? Why don't you have the courage, the J6 committee? Why don't you turn it down and come on in and answer some questions? Instead of getting the shade that you would get from this administration. So, yeah, the president says,
Oh, absolutely.
it shouldn't be mistaken as any acknowledgement of any individual engaged in any wrongdoing.
See, they
nor
start
should
giving them damn
acceptance be
hostages back then.
misconstrued as an admission of guilt. White House has expressed concern that the Republicans would target those individuals for political retribution after President-elect Trump sworn in. I thought we just wanted some answers. How about just a couple of 2-3 answers? News Talk 103.7 FM. What else do we have that we're watching here this morning? CBS releasing a poll that says you and the majority of Americans feel optimistic about 4 more with President Trump. The swell of optimism, particularly high among young voters.
All right, Wild Bill,
The
thanks
highest
a lot,
number,
man.
67% of the young voters.
Yeah,
that
right,
were
exactly
polled
right.
Between 18 and
They don't
29.
pay me that
very
kind of money to get wrecked.
optimistic.
I made
Big
good money,
deals
but
yesterday, the Make
I ain't
America
get killed in this
Great
rat box.
rally and the victory rally.
So you pull out in front of me,
To hear any
you
of
gonna be
those
shit out of
remarks
luck, 'cause
from
I ain't
the
hitting no
very
brakes.
measured president-elect.
That's where you get killed in
It's
this
awfully good. Lasted
drive
for
this track
a
trailer
good bit
off.
of time here.
You hit them damn
Make
brakes.
sure you
Somebody pulls out
clips
that
and things that come out from that.
You
We're
get
gonna
rolled
visit
over.
with our
And all
friends over at
your
Timmons.
loads on your ass.
Our Motivation Monday, that's coming up in just a couple of moments here. Get you some headlines as well on News Talk 103.7 FM. Let me have a little bit of from the candlelight dinner remarks President-elect Trump yesterday.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime realignment that will endure and lead America for generations to come. Within hours of taking office, I will sign dozens of executive orders, close to 100 to be exact, many of which I will be describing in my address tomorrow. We will not waste a single moment in delivering on our promises to the people.
And that address is 3 hours and 12 minutes, the inauguration at noon today. And we'll have full coverage for you here on News Talk 103.7 FM with the snow and ice and slush and mush. Watch those parking lots, sidewalks, side streets. Don't travel this way. Your travels up and down 81 north and south, 70 east and west, under speed, poor conditions, as you can plainly expect on a day like today. But it is a federal holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Federal, state, and local offices closed up. Municipalities, banks. So you're not having to battle with a lot of people on the highways, but I do want you to be very aware of the black ice and the cold that goes along with this. If you see a tie-up accident or incident, we'll hear from you at 877-709-1037.
Hey, Cooper State, good morning. How you doing?
Gives us some traffic information. You're
I was telling everybody I can actually see the chat when I'm not driving anywhere.
We're working to clear.
I can't see the chat when I'm driving.
Challenged by
I can see it, but I can't read it.
Wild Loop Road at 11 in Franklin County. Cumberland Valley Tree Services.
Yeah, today we had some snow yesterday. We just pretty much cleaning our trucks off, getting them all ready for tomorrow. If we ain't go anywhere tomorrow.
Stories we're tracking on First News for you on this Monday morning. An Arctic blast, some of the coldest temperatures of the winter on tap this week for the tri-state. Your AccuWeather forecast is on the way this morning. Senator Dave McCormick talks to Fox News about the Mideast ceasefire and hostage deal. And the U.S. Supreme Court will hear the case of Maryland parents who object to LGBTQ books in their kids' classrooms. Your local news after Fox News covers the world at the top of the hour. Headlines this morning sponsored by DSS Law, covering elder law, small business planning, and making sure your church is on a sound legal foundation. Attorney Paul Shummer and the DSS Law team is here to help in Pennsylvania and Maryland. Visit DSSlawyers.com. I'm Susan King for News Talk 37 FM.
This is meteorologist Jeff Nordine with your AccuWeather forecast from the premier HVAC Services Weather Center. Very cold and windy today with a mix of clouds and sunshine. High temperature 21 degrees. Cloudy and still frigid overnight down to 1 above. AccuWeather real feels as a result of the wind are going to be in the single digits, well below zero, and even in some spots into the double digits below zero. For local news and AccuWeather on the go, visit your app store and download News Talk 1037 FM.
It's a new year and a great time to finally get the new vehicle that you've been waiting for. Hi, this is Brian Brookholder from Shiny Motors in Chambersburg and Shippensburg. To start something new, sales event is going on now at Shiny Motors. 12% off new 24 Jeep Wrangler and Compass. 15% off new 24 Ram 2500 trucks and trucks. And with over 40 vehicles priced below $19,995, we have
I think we got about 8 inches
great
last
financing
night.
options to help you buy the vehicle you
Started
want.
out freezing rain.
Current vehicle on the road. We service all makes and models, from oil changes to major repairs. We keep it running efficiently. Come visit us.
Like I say, we do all we do all custom home stuff, so we're always up on some back road.
Shiny Motors in Chambersburg, Shippensburg, and online at ShinyMotors.com. For over 85 years, delivering
Some dry way to spray.
1939.
Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store. Visit the store for a free test walk.
We're not going anywhere today.
Lancaster, and our new store in Chambersburg and at goodfeet.com.
Tri-States News Talk 1037 FM. Momentum Monday. On Mondays, Eric Murr and yours truly sit down and talk about, making it happen through marketing and making more money, more coin. And at the end of the day, you're going to make a deposit, and we want to make it a bigger deposit for you. Eric Murr, Kagris, and the brand here. Let's have the spelling, and let's have a way to be in contact with the website, Eric. Website is kagris.com, KEGRREIS.com. So in the air and on the air, with two here talking about, you could come up with something called Make It. And so by the end of this segment, you're going to understand what MAKEIT stands for, because Eric's going to unpack this, and then I'm going to grill him through each letter. So feed me, Seymour. Let's have a little Make It, please.
Well, this is strategic advertising, and I think for my 35 years in the trenches, respecting all the hard work that our entrepreneurs here locally do. The worst thing in the world that us ad execs see and hear is bad strategic alignment with advertising and outcomes. So it's hard-earned discretionary dollars. Nobody wants to waste them. It sucks terribly, and you work so hard to get them, and it's just terrible to throw it down the drain. And the reality is, most of us have heard so many stories about ineffective advertising. It's everyone's promising the beanstalk, but it's a bag of beans. So let's go to M. M is about strategic advertising that aligns with core value propositions, making sure that it's really on point.
First, let's also think about an example. To give you an example of this, I think that would help. Maybe we've talked about the candy store before. We could just make it. It's the widget factory. So
Let's go with the florist.
florist, I like it. Okay.
All right, cool. So the first one's M. It's message. So when you really think about your message, this is the cornerstone of what you're actually going to be saying. And it's really important to know whether you're planning on being a business as a destination location, looking to build loyalty through service and customer experiences, or whether you're just getting a one-shot through as you pass through the state on your road trip to wherever you're going. So if you're a florist, it's about understanding what your core value proposition is. Guess what? Everybody sells roses, right?
Sure.
So it's kind of obvious that you're a florist and that you sell flowers, but are you catering to business-to-business relationships? Are you actually focusing on funerals? Are you working to leverage the hospital relationships that you have? There could be many different things that you are veterans, for example, but there should be something else beyond just selling flowers.
Right, better than gas station or grocery. Your flowers are gonna last.
That's right. And because the race to the bottom is impossible to do. Like if you're trying to really beat someone's price, it ain't the way to do it long term, right? We can win the day, but it's not going to win the war, right?
Flowers and message. Okay, M for message. Go ahead.
Yeah, so message is really just figuring out what your very valuable, specific, and believable core value proposition is, and then making sure that you have something to magnify. Because otherwise, if you're just saying we have flowers too, what does that really do? And that's not worth putting dollars in advertising. So if you're going to spend money in advertising, it's always amplification of a core value.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Okay, what's the A? A is audience. Obviously, if you're selling hamburgers to vegans, bad idea. And of course, flowers, of course, are not marketing to vegans or hamburger or eaters for that matter, but ultimately, audience has got to be on point. And we know that 16-year-olds really don't typically buy flowers, right? So what is that sweet spot? Understand your demo, of course, know who the decision makers are. If it's 70% female, and of course, I think most business owners get demographics, but they typically don't really study it. And there's ways to do that in digital marketing. That's part of our division at Kagris. We have a digital marketing agency side of the business that focuses on optimizing return on ad spend, for example. So we get to see that at 12 o'clock in the morning or at noon on a Monday, it could be a 70-30 split for female audience versus male audience, and therefore there's a 6 times better conversion rate for that period of time. So as you match messages with audiences and you study them, that's going to be revealed.
Well, in audiences, that's a good point here. So, if I'm advertising for prom on the radio station, that's not going to be on a news talk product, but mom and dad or maybe and poppy are spending money for that florist. They're the ones that are writing the check or putting the card down, writing a check. Well, some maybe and poppies are still writing checks, God bless them. So, again, knowing your audience and then making sure you're addressing that for young people in prom and flowers, good one. So we're talking about MAKEIT, Eric and Pat, and our Momentum Monday segment on News Talk 103.7 FM. We're going to have to break this into 2 parts here, so we're going to go with K, and we'll probably get through K and maybe a little bit of E, but let's go K.
Okay. K is know the value. Cheating here because Maven, nobody likes Maven. What does that mean? So K is know the value. What I mean by that is cost per thousand, and this is a classic media term that you can figure out from your reps as you talk to them about your advertising. Say, what's my cost per thousand? Ask them that because they should know it. If they don't know it, they can probably get it. But if you're spending, again, this is about opportunity cost. If you are only getting, if you get a $1 per thousand impressions, so that's pretty low in media. It's usually about 5 to 40, I would say. Let's just say $5. So if you spend $5, you're going to get 1,000 impressions. Well, what if you actually did get, you're actually spending $20 for 1,000 impressions, you're only going to be getting 250 impressions for that, right? So you're going to have 1/4 the total delivery. So you better be choosing those mediums intelligently so you can really leverage your dollars effectively.
Let's try for the E. Go ahead.
All right. E is engagement. So at the end of the day, boring ads don't mean anything and we ignore them. So if you don't have some sort of emotive connection taking place between the ad and the consumer, the potential prospect, then it's not going to be an effective ad. So you got to have something happen. Is that a click? Is that looking up the website? Feeling something? Make sure that something happens. You're going to think about that as what's your client going to feel when they see the ad, see or feel the ad. See, hear, or
Our full visit with Eric Murr and Kagris on our Momentum Monday. You're going to play that back. We'll have it posted at newstalk1037fm.com. Click on Interviews, where you'll find our big talk from earlier today, the business of the borough of Chambersburg. Newstalk1037fm.com. And there's no paywall between you and the newsmakers. Thanks to Eric Murr. And here comes Fox News Top of the Hour.
And weather brings out our best for you. The News Talk 103.7 FM Storm Center delivers traffic, closings, live updates. It's powered by Interstate Garage Doors. Sales, service, the garage door experts. IGDoors.com. Parting gifts from President Biden. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Hours before he leaves office, he's issued even more pardons on top of the record number of pardons and commutations the president's already handed out, thousands. But these are preemptive to protect General Mark Milley, former Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman. And controversial ex-Trump and Biden COVID advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci and members of the Democrat-led House committee that investigated the January 6th Capitol riots.
President Biden, in a press release, says he did this to prevent a politicized prosecution by the incoming Trump administration, calling those he pardoned public servants who have served with honor and distinction.
That's Fox's Emmett Brown. Here's reaction from Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn, who tells Fox,
"This is a president who has worked overtime, trying to make illegal legal, so it would suit his agenda, which is America last."
President-elect Trump is now at a church service in Washington, 3 hours before he's sworn in as president again, telling supporters at a rally last night,
We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again.
in his inaugural address this afternoon, he called for a revolution of common sense, saying a tide of change is sweeping across the country. Later today, the president plans to sign about 200 executive orders after he takes office, including ones related to border security. And the Senate may vote today to approve the Laken Riley Act, named for the Georgia woman murdered by an illegal immigrant last year. The law allows for the removal of some migrants here illegally who have committed crimes. And Fox's Chad Berger reports from the Capitol.
The Senate is expected to confirm at least one cabinet member tonight. That's likely Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. Two of the committee's scheduled meetings to prep other nominees for the floor today. That includes John Ratcliffe as CIA Director and Christy Nolan for Homeland Security.
America's listening to Fox News.
When a woman experiences an unplanned pregnancy, she often feels alone and afraid. So many times her first response is to seek out an abortion. But because of the generosity of listeners like you, that search may lead her to a preborn network clinic where she'll choose life, not just for her baby, but for herself. Preborn offers God's love and compassion to hurting women and then provides a free ultrasound to introduce them to the life growing inside them. This combination brings the ultimate miracle of life to life, which is why Preborn saves 200 babies every single day.
That changed my life. Just from that ultrasound picture, I'm going to keep my baby, and I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to be the great mom.
Your tax-deductible donation of $28 sponsors one ultrasound, and now through a match, your gift is double.
Most of you don't know, we do a lot of flying RC, blades, jets,
Please donate.
drones.
Just dial pound 250, say the keyword.
We do trucks, all
pound
kinds of
250,
stuff.
keyword baby, or go to preborn.com/.
And then during the day, sometimes I'm coming to do live.
By Preborn.
It's Tri-State Local
Drive an
News Updates,
18-wheeler,
the number one selling solid
flatbed with
tractor in the
rollers,
US. Kubota BX
and
series,
all,
enjoy the most of your land. See it, try it.
big roof
And
trusses.
Tatum Tractor Equipment Hagerstown,
Custom homes that
Franklin
we deal
Tractor
with.
Equipment Chambersburg, Fulton
Today we're not
Tractor
going
Equipment
anywhere because we got snow. And where we need to get to, we can't get to.
Issues surrounding
So we're here today to
reviewed yet again by the
clean off the trucks
Supreme
and
Court. Good morning, I'm Susan
get
King.
the hydraulics
More on that
all
story
warmed
is
up.
coming up from the Tri-State Alert.
Let 'em run for a while.
Today's
Because the temperature is so low.
Breezy, frigid,
Otherwise,
blowing
your
snow. This is the start of a
diesel
prolonged
fuel will
cold
gel
day.
up.
High of 20 degrees.
You won't be able to do
Low
shit.
tonight, 1 degree above zero. The Pennsylvania State
So
Supreme
that's what
Court
we gotta
says
do
it will
today.
again consider whether voters
I'll probably let it run for another hour or so.
date on return envelopes
And
used
then
to
we'll
send
call
their
it a day
completed
today.
mail-in ballots to be counted. The
I appreciate
requirement
everybody
of
coming
state
in.
law has generated more than a half dozen court
So,
cases over the past 4 years.
sit back and
including
enjoy
several
a coffee
that
and-
reached the state Supreme Court. The justices will decide whether the
Not
date
much
and
going on
vote for
today.
absentee and mail ballot return envelopes violates a state constitutional provision that elections must be free and equal. Today is MLK Day, a federal holiday, so federal, state, and local government offices, also most schools, are closed today. One person is in custody accused of murder in connection with the shooting that happened Friday evening at the Candlewood Inn and Suites on Walker Road in Chambersburg. The suspect is identified as Kelsey Gerard Miles, reportedly left and took off to Virginia following this shooting. State police arrest Miles on Saturday, charged with criminal homicide. You're up to date on the Tri-States News Talk 93.7 FM. I'm Susan King.
I hate to say it, but I think you're a little bit wrong here.
The law is very clear, and the Law Hour takes your calls, your questions, your comments Saturday morning after 10 on News Talk 103.7 FM.
Wonderful to be on with you, and thank you so much for bringing this subject up again.
Call in to the Law Hour Saturday morning after 10
I
Yeah.
agree 100%.
on News Talk
weather now on Newstalk 103.7 FM, delivered by Andrews Farm Market, Route 30 St. Thomas. Farm-to-table fruits, veggies, and holiday gift ideas. Perfect for family, friends, and clients. Visit AndrewsFarmMarket.com. AndrewsFarmMarket.com.
This is meteorologist Jeff Nordine with your AccuWeather forecast from the premier HVAC Services Weather Center. Very cold and windy today with a mix of clouds and sunshine. High temperature 21 degrees. Cloudy and still frigid overnight down to 1 above. AccuWeather real feels as a result of the wind are going to be in the single digits, well below zero, and even in some spots into the double digits below zero. For local news and AccuWeather on the go, visit your app store and download News Talk 103.7 FM. Inauguration of our 47th president. We'll get to it here in just a second. First, let me tell you about our sponsor. Makes all of this possible, Jace Medical. Kind of a terrifying past couple of months. I mean, at least when it comes to summer blockbuster level disasters. We've had disasters everywhere, and I don't know. Washington is a little nervous today. I don't think anything's going to happen, but I mean, it's been a dicey weekend here. And you kind of think, oh, what would happen, you know, if things went poorly today? Here's one thing you should know. Things are going to go poorly at some point, but in some way, and you could need your medication and not have access to it. That's why I want you to call Jace Medical. Jace, get their Jace case. It's a simple, reliable emergency supply of life-saving medications that put the control in your hands. There's no way to prepare for literally everything, but you do know if you need medication and the CVS is closed or the supply chain is broken down, you've got a problem. This isn't about fear, this is about responsibility. Being prepared is the best way to protect your family and your future. Don't wait for the next headline to wake you up. Go to jace.com, enter the promo code back, and make sure you have the right meds on hand the moment you need them. That's Jace, JASE.com, promo code. Well, hello, Ms. Stu, and we have everybody from the Blaze coming on today as we provide our live coverage of the inauguration today of Donald J. Trump, the 45th and 47th President of the United States. Last night, I was at one of the inaugural balls. That was fun. Oh, that was fun. It's a big day. It's always a big day. It is a big day. I'm just not a guy who likes to be around other people. Okay. Yes. So, and especially when you're standing there and the band is so loud, you can't hear anything. And so people would continue to talk to you and you're like, and then they look at you like that wasn't kind of response I was looking for. And I'm like, I can't hear you. I just told you my daughter died of cancer yesterday. It's great. Keep it up. So anyway, last night I wrote a speech for what I hope the president will say today. If I were writing the speech for Donald Trump, I want to share it with you. This is what I would have him come out and say. My fellow Americans, today we stand together at the dawn of a new chapter in our nation's history. This moment is not just about a new administration. It is about a new commitment to the founding principles that built this republic. It's about the restoration of power to where it rightly belongs, with you, the American people. Far too long, our government has drifted from its purpose. Too often
you to raise your family, and you to live your life without interference. For decades, the bloated federal bureaucracy has grown unchecked, sapping the vitality of our economy and the strength of our communities. Departments that were meant to have help have become barriers to progress. Agencies designed to protect have too often been punished, and punishing the very people they exist to serve. But today, I pledge to you to dismantle what has become an unaccountable administrative state, and are going to begin with closing the Department of Education, returning its power of teaching our children to the parents, to the local communities, to the state government, where it belongs. Washington, D.C. has no business deciding what our children learn or how they're taught. But I'm not going to stop there. Any department or agency that is ineffective, inefficient, or usurps the rights of the states or the people will face the same scrutiny and same end. The balance of power.
Weather Service in Sterling, Virginia has issued a snowstorm warning for Southern Lawton County in Northern Virginia, Southern Clark County in Northwestern Virginia, North Central Florida.
To the President. And as your chief executive, I answer to you. The administrative state will be reduced in size and scope. Those who think today that they can outlast this administration and maintain the status quo will find that the days of faceless power are over. Now the national debt, it's a silent thief. That's all it is, robbing future generations of their prosperity. Overspending has put us on a perilous path, and no responsible leader can allow it to continue. We will balance the federal budget by making government smaller, smarter, and more focused. Programs that don't deliver results are going to be eliminated. Fraud, waste, and abuse will be rooted out. As we reduce the size of government, we are going to unleash the potential of the private sector to drive innovation, create jobs, and build wealth. To those who say it can't be done, I say this: watch us. This is not a time for excuses, but bold action. We are going to leave our children not a legacy of debt, but a legacy of opportunity. Now, no American who abides by our laws should ever live in fear of the government. But today, far too many Americans do. Whether it's political persecution, administrative overreach, or an unbalanced justice system, many have been silenced or crushed by the weight of this government that was supposed to serve them. I'm going to ensure that justice is blind, fair, and free from political influence. Those who broke our laws on either side of the aisle, they will be held accountable. But let me also say this: political persecution will end on my watch. It has no place in a free society. We're going to restore common law in our courtrooms, common sense in our schools, and common decency in our public discourse. We're going to ensure that the Bill of Rights is not just words on paper, but a living promise to every American. A nation without borders, a nation without laws, is a nation that does not exist. For far too long, our borders have been porous, leaving us vulnerable to the trafficking of drugs, children, and human lives. This is not compassion, this is chaos, and it ends now. We're going to secure our borders. We're going to enforce our laws. We are going to deport those who have entered illegally. And to the cartels that profit from this evil, consider this your notice. Comply with our laws, or we will destroy your operation with the full might and power of the United States. Every American has the right to feel safe in their neighborhood and their community. We're going to ensure that law enforcement has the tools and support they need to do their job. And we will demand their closing again the endless wars party because they drained our resources and diverted our focus from our own
right, be right back.
Foundation is going to control everything if they've got this.
All right.
Not so much now. It's FBI.
Thanks for everybody stopping by. Ain't much going on today. We're just cleaning our trucks off, making sure our hydraulics are hot, making sure the trailers and all our levers are working correctly and are not all bound up. Make sure the air is flowing through the trailer to the brake chambers. And it's cold like that, you gotta let them run. So that's the plan today. Then I'm gonna go back home. I might get live today. Doing something in my hangar. I ain't shot here. I need to clean it up. I know that.
I just want you to know. I mean, it's cold.
And then we'll sit and watch the Trump take the oath. That's what I'm going to do today. Whether you like it or not.
Who came here knew they were going to. Yeah. So, and here's another thing. Everybody gives it. The last time this happened was
Or the car windows wouldn't go down. I damn near couldn't even get in my car because everything was frozen up. I need to build me another garage, attached garage for my cars. But I got all my RC hobby stuff in my 2-car garage.
Reagan had it moved, or somebody had it moved to the steps of the Capitol outside so more people could come. The very next time.
A lot of things Jackson RC needs to do. It takes a lot of damn money to do this shit.
I've seen things I've never seen before. In fact, I was talking to some guys that
all right, UK.
And we saw them over a couple of times last night.
It's like 8 degrees here in Maryland, the United States.
U.S. government armored vehicles, and they all have an electronic device up on top of the vehicles that military people say they've only seen in Iraq. And it stops all drones. It just disables everything electronic around. About security concerns, the matters of nuclear. That makes a lot of sense. Yes, now people are coming and they're like, oh my gosh, it's 28 degrees. I didn't see that coming. Right. The river is frozen. Crossed my mind this New Year's Eve. Yeah, like there's like all these people, they stand up there for like 12 straight hours. The water is all dry, right? And it's everybody really knows. This I will say, like, there's real danger. People might not be ready, right? If you're an older person, you come in from a southern state, you're not used to the cold, you stand outside, I say, let them die. You're not ready to move right now. I say, let them die. I think the security is all about the president, and it is not domestic. It's foreign that they're worried about. And the Secret Service just is not prepared. Glenn Beck. NMLS 2334. NMLS consumer access not over APR for recent FI starts at 6.799% for one full time offer. Sold 800-906-2444. Details about credit costs and terms. NMLS. So Americans still have kitchen table problems. A lot of people are carrying really high credit card balances, charging 20% or more in interest each and every single month. You gotta get rid of those. Now the old question is, how do you do it? How do you get far ahead of being able to even be able to live without credit cards? There's gotta be a path to the wilderness, but how do you find that path? If you are a homeowner, you want to work on ways to get out from
this gas, you need to call AmericanFinancing.net today. Last year, their seller-based mortgage consultants helped customers in this audience save over an average of $800 a month. That's a $10,000 rate. Start today and you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments, which can help you, get even further ahead. Don't take my word for it. Do your own homework. Call AmericanFinancing.net at 800-906-2440. 800-906-2440. AmericanFinancing.net.
Head over to blaze47.com. Use the code 47 to save $47 and get access to our coverage coming up.
Breaking news.
Inauguration Day 2025. We do solemnly swear without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion to well and faithfully discharge the duties of covering said event. So help us God. The second unconsecutive term of President-elect Donald Trump begins January 20th. Making him the 47th President of the United States. Follow the inauguration here on News Talk 107 FM. These days, everyone has a membership plan. They seem to agree on good and bad. Like the an agreement from Premier HVAC. Let's call it the ESA Club for short. As an ESA member, you get same-day priority service on emergency heating or cooling needs. You move right to the front of the line. A lifetime guarantee on any equipment repairs. Talk about privileges. Up to 40% discount on parts and labor. 40% adds up. But most importantly, total peace of mind. Try Premier HVAC online today.
Make your dollar go farther at Squires Electronics and Appliances. Squires offers free local delivery, free professional installation, free washer fill hoses, free dryer cord, free dryer steam kit, and free removal of your water bottles. And they proudly service what they sell. For over 130 years, Squires has been the local destination for premium long-lasting washers and dryers with a huge inventory of in-stock models. Keep your hard-earned money local and help support small business. Shop Squires for all your appliance needs and make your dollar go farther. Route 11 Chambersburg, SquiresElectronics.com. Did you know that Medicare fraud costs Americans over $90 billion each year, and that it can also harm your health by decreasing the quality of care you receive or denying you needed services? There are some easy ways to protect yourself. Card your Medicare card like a criminal.
Yeah, cold and ice is great. Oh, Secret Service pulled him. I have to look over there.
Type of family.
Yeah, that's all right.
The way they greeted each other, there's grace there on
Yeah,
both
yeah.
sides. And I think that that's an important message for the American people, that we can disagree.
You do your truck yet?
Vehemently about policies.
Do your truck yet?
Sorts of things.
Huh? I said, you do your truck yet? Yeah.
But at the end of the day, just like those senators have to get along in their legislating for the American people, those who show that they Senate blood in them, so to speak, that they both are willing to be collegial and to speak to each
It's
other.
already hooked. I don't need to switch
As fellow
We don't have to.
politicians. So I was pleased to see that. I was pleased to see the smiles, and I think it's an important message for the American people.
And I also wanted to share, Jim.
Oh, yeah, you got to get that fixed.
Talking about their Senate careers, they weren't in the Senate for very long.
Yeah. Get tired of it. I just take it over there. He can do it like that.
Necessarily get to, show maybe their legislative over days. They were really instantly catapulted to the White House, so to speak, weren't they?
Yes, that's a good point, Andrew. I'm sure they overlap with each other. I don't think they did. I think she was vice president. Yeah, well, when he was elected. I'm from Ohio, so I know J.D. Vance. Personally, I know about him. And, I know that when he was in the Senate, he didn't have enough time to really establish himself. As you said, she kind of established herself when she was doing essentially cross-examination of Supreme Court justice candidates and also on the banking committee. So she was known for being kind of, she's a former prosecutor. She was known for that, in her time in the Senate. She had a little more time there than he did. But if you look at J.D. Vance, it's an interesting thing. Ohio, along with Virginia, claims the most presidents. And the Virginia presidents all came from George Washington, Monroe, Madison, Jefferson, and so forth. And then we from the Civil War until Martin Luther King in 1920, Ohio was the presidency. It was Grant, Hayes, Garfield, McKinley, Taft, just a slew of Ohioans. And then Ohio became known as the mother of presidents because many of those people were born in Ohio, but not necessarily Grant but Ohio was known as a sweet state. It was known as a part of the country type state where,
You did too much. You did more than I'd have done.
It's become very
I'd have made David do that.
It's become very popular. The Ohio legislature is supermajority Republican. And we
That's something that's riding around like you supervise.
Sherrod Brown just lost his election, re-election campaign. So he came out of that milieu, which is a little bit different.
You go there and ask for it. I bet you won't get it.
He came out of a milieu where there was more of a give and take.
I have sometimes I got stuff in storage that I want to
division in the state. It was a bellwether state for over 100 years.
You fucking run around.
Ohio presidents were Republicans. They were in the tradition.
I've done that too.
Tradition of reconstructing the South. And so there were a lot of interesting stories about that. And so J.D. Vance falls into that. I think one vice president was from Ohio, but it'll be interesting to see what he gets to do, how he's included in the decisions that are made in the next 4 years. Jimmy Carter started the tradition with Mondale and bringing him into the Oval Office and giving him an office in the White House and consulting with him regularly. And that's been more or less true, but I think it'll be interesting to see Donald Trump as such a dominant leader. And J.D. Vance has so little experience, relatively speaking. It'll be interesting to see how much he's included and what tasks he's given by the president.
Never looked to the trail.
If he'll be less
So they got 25 on this side, 25 on the other side.
Very interesting questions to go over.
And it's interesting that you bring that up, Jim, because, talking about the role of the vice president during former President Jimmy Carter's funeral, we were hearing the words of the late Vice President Mondale, and talking about the reason why he accepted was because he wanted the role of the vice president to trusted one that was working in years past, and it is going to be interesting to see what that dynamic is like and what J.D. Vance will play as we continue to take a look outside of the Blair House. We are expecting President-elect Trump to depart momentarily, and on the lower right-hand side of your screen, that is an aerial view from inside the Capitol Rotunda. Just a stunning view as we take a look. And previously, there were some singers. It does look like perhaps the ceremony, that portion of it has concluded, as we do see people exit right there. But just sharing with our viewers the different vantage points as we continue to watch in real time the events unfold. But it is absolutely interesting to see the very beginning, almost, Jim and Andrew, of what is to come in the next 4 years. You know, setting the stage for what is likely to be a very different presidency. And you were mentioning the dynamic and the role, you know, couching that in historical context with previous dynamics and relationships between former presidents and their vice presidents. Andrew, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what unfolds.
That's so true. I just want to know, we do see green wall there in front of the Capitol. That's always a very, very cool shot there. Maybe we can take that one. You see the presidential helicopter there in front of the U.S. Capitol. And so we'll see it's on that. I believe it will take about minutes away, and it will also take minutes to the House. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. We took a shot of Blair House and let's talk about the significance of Blair House. From my understanding, it's kind of like the country gets through, so to speak. What do we know about it?
Yeah,
he lives right down the
street. Is that during the Second World War, when Winston Churchill came to the United States and stayed for weeks by day in the White House with Franklin Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt was not very happy about that. And eventually she said to him, why don't we have Blair House, which had been there, become kind of our guest house for dignitaries who come rather than having them stay in the White House.
I'm setting my ways, man.
Winston Churchill.
I'm setting my ways, man. I want to be home when I want to be home.
Right.
You know I am here.
A very famous story of him standing up naked in a bathtub that he was in, saying the Prime Minister of England has nothing to hide from the President of the United States. You know, it was just, it was a real annoyance to Eleanor Roosevelt. So Blair House became kind of this very famous place for distinguished guests to stay during Truman's time. The White House was literally falling apart. And so they went in, you would see some pictures of this. They gutted the White House during Truman's administration. And he lived across the street from Blair House during that time. So it became kind of the White House itself. Then they created the White House to what it is now. But it was literally, they worried that because of what happened. So we got during the time when Truman was in the Blair House, there was a very Reagan nationalist rising at the time.
Appreciate it. You're looking good back in Baltimore.
Got guns, came to Blair House to try to assassinate Truman.
Box of
guards in front of Blair House. Truman was actually taking a nap inside. Some of the guards had killed nationalists.
That was it'd have been down there. I don't know. That's why you start laughing. It'd have been down there. Fuck it off.
And as we talk about the Blair House, we are waiting for President-elect Donald Trump to depart. This is arrival there at the Capitol. We're seeing his daughter, along with a number of other family members right there. This is a live look as they already are starting to trickle in Inside the Capitol, you see Eric Trump right there as well, walking inside. Of course, we're waiting for President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. Another historical moment in the making, Jim, and after this is the second time that the swearing-in ceremony takes place inside.
I gotta take a piss like a racehorse too.
So interesting to note is that there have been very swearing-in ceremonies that have taken place outdoor. And Jim, historically, when we're taking a look at the decision-making process, when it comes to whether or not to hold an inauguration, traditionally outside, now shifting inside, what is the thought process historically when it comes to determining, the events and where they take place?
Good question. Very good question. It gives us a chance to talk about this building too. When the Capitol was built, the very first building was the Senate building, which was just to the right of the big dome right there. That was the original structure that was built, and then they began to build the rotunda, the original rotunda had a cab to it that was much smaller than the one you see. In fact, the one you see was built during the time of Abraham Lincoln. You can see pictures of it being constructed during one of his apartments. So they built that, and then the house was built on the other side. And then eventually they expanded the two wings so where the Senate is now. It's all around. The house is further out. But so in that context, these inaugurations took place in various stages and in various places. The Senate building was originally used, as was the House chamber. The first time it went outside was Andrew Jackson. Not the west. The west portico is where it's been done since Ronald Reagan switched it from the east to the west. We went down the hall and got that beautiful setting that you show pictures of. And always prior to that was on the east side. And the east side is where you see, those famous pictures of Lincoln when he's giving his second inaugural. On the east side, what's interesting is once they built this huge dome on top of the structure, it really made the pillars that were in front of the east look very small and out of place. So there was a project to redo that, and they took those pillars down.
948.
And if you're in Washington, it would have some those pillars are all in the National, I think, Arena, standing like, if you went to Rome and saw ruins and so those pillars are out there, and they were replaced by pillars.
We don't get anything like this.
The side you see with Lincoln is not the same facade where he spoke. It became much bigger and elaborate, and each president, made a decision about whether to go forward with, the exterior inauguration. When Grant was inaugurated, I think it was for his second time, it was extremely cold. It was like 16 degrees.
Yeah, right. You don't puff them out, puff them. They ain't up there.
Inauguration outside,
Monty, he pushed those too? So tell your dad I've been good with you.
Some kind of a famous time there, being the Civil War general that he was not going to take it back inside or outside. And then, of course, for Reagan, it was important because by the time you get, to Trump and to Reagan, so you have so many people show up and who are in danger and prosperity. Really some bad things.
Yeah, that's crazy shit over there.
Situation, and that's
Thank you, man.
I think it was a wise choice.
Hey, I've been rolling down the road like this.
President Reagan, over time, it has been, JFK, when it was about the same temperature that it is right now, 22 degrees. He went ahead with it outside, and I think the better idea is to hold it inside, and then, to not have people get injured or hurt during
I ain't much longer here. I'm gonna let my truck run just a little bit more.
We're just looking at some of the arrivals. Again, maybe we can
Talk about
listen to some of them here.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's it, man. played with that little. I know that little one's running around.
Huh?
I know the little one's running around.
Jim, as we take a live look at the arrivals here inside the Capitol Rotunda, I want to ask you this, and maybe you know and maybe you don't, but we are waiting President-elect Donald Trump to depart the Blair House and make his way here. You know, what's the process during this waiting period? What is he doing? Is he practicing his speech? Is he just relaxing? I mean, what does he do during this downtime? Or is he busy making phone calls? We do know that, you know, he set aside, you know, 200 or so executive orders. You know, can you take us perhaps inside the Blair House as we wait this arrival here?
I doubt he's practicing it. He's read over his speech many times, and he's pretty good at reading speeches. I think he will, you know, he has good delivery. He knows how to give a speech. My guess is he's talking to a lot of different people and getting ready to come over. It's interesting in our history how this, you know, president's getting to the Capitol to be sworn in. First inauguration was in New York, in a place called Federal, Washington. Came all the way from Mount Vernon and rode horseback through carriages through various cities on the way and had this big celebration of him coming to, you know, to that ceremony. He gets to the ceremony. They go to give him the inauguration, and nobody had remembered to bring a Bible. They had to run and get one from the Sonic Temple. That he used, and that many presidents have used since, because of its historic significance. He had walked over to church himself, and then we had Thomas Jefferson. He left his hotel where he was in Washington and walked to his first one, and then walked back to following that inaugural. So that was kind of a point later in his second inaugural. To Congress to, you know, to be sworn in. Then followed by various presidents getting there by various means. I think the first to go in a car might have been McKinley. No, McKinley would have been already. And, you know, subsequently, this tradition developed where once the president was done with the inauguration, then you would have a parade that followed on. And those parades became more and more elaborate. Eisenhower's lasted for 4.5 hours. It was the longest. Wilson's had 40,000 people marching in it. It was the most people marching in a parade. So that became kind of the tradition of the president going back. And as you know, Carter, when he left his inauguration, was being driven back to the White House when he stopped the car, got out, and started to walk. And that became extremely famous. And I think everybody has followed that, where they walked a portion of the time on the way back to the White House. Trump did it when Biden did it. It's become kind of a tradition. It'll be interesting to see in the cold weather whether they'll follow that pattern or not. I wouldn't, frankly, for security and other reasons. But, you know, this getting to there and then leaving ended up resulting in the parade that we have, because the early presidents were followed by their enthusiastic supporters back to the White House. Andrew Jackson had such enthusiastic supporters that they came back to the White House and ransacked it. I mean, they went in, punch holes were thrown everywhere, curtains were torn down, people had to escape through windows. It was just a scene, you know, a joyous scene, but eventually the way they got everyone out of the White House was to take these big punch holes outside to get the people to leave the White House.
And Jim, I just wanted to pause as President-elect Donald Trump has now arrived at the White House. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden welcoming Trump and Melania Trump right there. I am going to raise the audio again. We might not be able to hear much, but let's listen in.
19 months earlier, he had tried to pass what was called the Versailles Treaty of the League of Nations, failed. Trying to get it passed, Wilson went out into the country to stump for it. Had this severe stroke in Denver, was taken back to the White House, had another very severe stroke.
Okay, everybody, thanks for coming in. I gotta go do some paperwork. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, share it out to your friends. And we'll try to figure out how we're going to do some more stuff as far as showing more content on all these trusts. All right. Thank you. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.